What's going on, good people? So I'm gonna go ahead and start off by saying this is not an easy video to make and put up on YouTube, but I gotta stay true to the game. I gotta show y'all when things are great, gotta show y'all when things are good, I gotta show y'all when things are bad. The bad doesn't happen very often, and it typically doesn't happen, but I'm just like everybody else. I deal with the same struggles and the same environmental challenges that y'all do in y'all's lawn. So it got me. It got me. This is probably the worst my lawn has ever looked since I've started YouTube. But let's get into this video and talk about why it looks that way and what we're gonna do about it and how we'll try to prevent it in the future. This is all we can do. All right, let's get into it. All right, so let's set the stage. I put down my fungicide. It was probably early part of May, knowing that most fungicides, depending on the amount of disease pressure and the environmental conditions, are probably gonna last maybe 28, 21 days for when you make your application. So made that early May, knowing it was about time for me to get another fungicide down prior to some trips that I knew that I had coming up about the mid-June-ish time frame. So let's fast forward. Life starts to happen, doing a lot of other things. I don't get my fungicide down in the time frame within that 21, 28 days. So now we fast forward past that about 2 weeks. I go on the trips. One of those being a great trip that I went out to Oregon and visited the Mountain View Seed field day. I will be making a video on that, so stay tuned for that. But I was gone another week. With that, took a little vacation with the family when I got back. Now we are probably about 3 weeks past when I should have made that application. Environmental conditions, if you watched my last video, make sure you go back and watch that with about the watering and battling environmental conditions. This time of year, the environmental conditions are going to be your biggest battle. So you want to make sure that you stay protected with your fungicides, all your proper applications, watering and fertilization and mowing. The amount of rain that we had over those 2 weeks that I was not protected with my fungicide was unbelievable. We had about 3 inches of rain, and it was consistent days of nothing but rain. The lawn stayed wet for at least a week and a half, just consistently wet. Life happens. It happens to the best of us. At times, we're just not able to get those applications and things down. And the environmental conditions can sometimes even overtake if you do put down those applications and fungicides. But being that I was outside of that window of protection, my lawn was left vulnerable. While I was out gallivanting out in Oregon and with the family and everything else, the lawn was under attack. But it is in pretty rough shape, as you can see in the clips that I'm putting here. We definitely got hit with disease pressure. So brown patch is clearly active. This is in the front yard and backyard. Dollar spot, I was able to identify some of that in both the backyard and significantly in the test plot. The front yard mainly just has brown patch in it for the most part. So that sets the stage of what we're dealing with and what it's looking like right now and how we ended up in this situation. And as I've said, the environmental conditions right now, this time of year is your biggest challenge. So making sure that you're monitoring those and doing the things that you need to do to be as best prepared as you can for those. So now that we're in this situation, what are we gonna do about it? First thing is, I just went on and put a mow on it. One of the things to be aware of is right now, this is gonna look worse before it starts to get better. Before you start to get any recovery, it's probably gonna start to look worse. So just be prepared for it, get out there, got a cut on it, to get that canopy, grass canopy down so that they can start drying out. The problem is, I'm not sure if you can see it back here on the fence, but we've been continuing to get moisture. Like, it is just continuing to stay, and it's not even like excessive or hard amounts of rain. It's just a tenth of an inch here, less than a quarter inch. Like, typically it's less than a tenth of an inch of rain, but it's also staying cloudy and the lawn is just not drying out. So the disease pressure is going to continue to be high. The humidity is high. Like, as I was recording this, I think it was 99% humidity. So it is not drying out, which is making it a tough situation for me to recover from the excessive moisture that's already here. So just keeping that grass canopy as low as possible at my normal height and cut, but not letting it get overgrown just because it's moist outside. I went on and made sure I put down my fungicides, went down with my Armada. That's one of my go-tos fungicides when I'm in this situation. It is a group 3 and group 11 fungicide combined into one max rate. I will go back down with it again at the shortest interval, which I'll put it up on the screen. I think it's 14 days. When disease pressure is high, you want to go down at max rate of the fungicide per 1,000 square foot and the shortest reapplication interval. That will vary depending on which fungicide you're using, but follow your label instructions. That's the exact same thing that it says in your instructions. So fungicides are down. I have turned my irrigation off. I do not want any additional water being applied to the lawn. Irrigation is off. I just need things to dry out. The next thing that I did is I went on and I added a little bit of food to the lawn. We've had so much rain, a lot of the nutrients and things have kind of washed through the soil or have been already used up. It was about time for my next application of fertilizer anyway. So I went down with a liquid application of AMS right at 1/10 of a pound. Not trying to push a lot of growth, but I do want to get some food into the plant because, as I said, this is probably going to look worse before it looks better. And the reason for that is as you start to cure the disease that's in there, it will start to push up to the top as the growth happens. So you want to make sure the lawn still has enough food to actively grow and push those new shoots up and continue to grow so you can cut the affected portions of the leaf blade off. So again, giving it a little bit of food. I'm not pushing a whole lot. I'll probably go 1/10 of a pound of AMS here probably every 2 weeks or so, just to keep the lawn growing and making sure that it's growing through this heavy disease pressure time. All right, so those are the things that we have already done. What am I gonna do going forward? So going forward, I am definitely going to stay on my fungicide program. I have one, I know what it is. Life got busy, life happened, and I just fell off of my program. And this just goes to show that some things are staples in your program to make sure you are successful in your lawn. And fungicides is one, and I know it. I've got heavy shade cover back here in the backyard. I also have a fence around my yard so I get less airflow through the lawn. So it's very easy for my lawn to hold moisture when we start to get that excessive rain and it doesn't want to dry out. So making sure I stay on a proper fungicide program is how I stay successful through this period of the season. The next thing is I'll make sure that I keep applying my phosphites. Phosphites is something that I truly believe in. Typically, if I'd have had this much moisture, Pythium would be right on its heels, but that is one of the things that I have not seen, which is great because Pythium is a quick eliminator of a lawn. It does not take long for Pythium to completely destroy a lawn. So right now, even though the lawn looks bad, it doesn't look as best, I am not worried about losing the entire lawn. There will be some permanent damage. There will be some areas that won't recover. But I don't think I'm in a boat of where Pythium is running rampant and I'm gonna lose my entire lawn, which I've been there before. But I'll make sure I can continue to apply my phosphates, continue to mow, and stay on my fungicide program, and also make sure the lawn is continuing to be fed. And at this point, it's a waiting game, right? I just got to make sure I'm doing the things that I can do, and I'm controlling the variables that I can control. The environment is going to do what it wants. Mother Nature is going to do what it does. So there's no need in really trying to fight those things. Making sure my irrigation stays off. I'm not applying any excess water. Right now, I just need things to dry out. We need some sunshine, and even like right now, it may look sunny in the camera footage, but it's an overcast, cloudy day again. Doesn't look like we're gonna get any sunlight to help dry any of this out. It's gonna be another wet mow again today, and I do not like doing wet mows, but letting the canopy get overgrown and tall is just gonna make it hold more moisture, and it's not going to dry out. So what do we do today? Another wet mow. So one of the things that I do is stay true to you, the viewers, and stay true to the community. Like, I am not immune to getting disease. My lawn is not on some special product or a silver bullet of a product. I just have a program that when I stick to it, it works. And when I don't, these are the results that you get. Just make sure you are getting on a regular fungicide program through this period of the season, and that you're doing the things that you know works for your lawn. The products that I'm using, one of the main ones, like I mentioned, is Armada, my phosphates, and I'll also be applying Azoxy for some of the dollar spot that I've been seeing around, especially over in the test plot. And then also Eagle is another one, fungicide that I will have in my rotation. So from a fungicide standpoint, those are a couple of options. It's getting a little hot for propiconazole, especially if you're using like the 41%. The 14.3, you probably could still run that during this point in time. I've done that and ran the 14.3 like through the summer, but just know that it is a somewhat of a PGR, so it's gonna slow down some of that growth. And right now, I need the lawn to be growing, which is why I'm not reaching for propiconazole as a solution in this situation that I'm in right now. So this is where we're at. Things don't look good, but we're gonna roll with the punches. I'll continue to bring it to y'all, let y'all see how it's recovering, and what things are happening in the lawn. All right, y'all, as I always say, just know we work.